What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Panthers Advice. Today, man, we're talking about the Carolina Panthers getting their second win of the season. Now, obviously, that's nothing to be too excited about, but what stood out to me the most, that was Bryce overall, all right? And the reason Bryce stood out to me overall was because last week, he was overthrowing almost everything, right? The week before, he was underthrowing everything, and that's all due to his footwork, all right? The reason that worked in Bama was because one, his receivers, and two, the talent isn't the same in college compared to the NFL, right? So in the NFL, he's having to adjust, having to realize, oh, the guys don't get that separation. So now we bring in this crappy weather, right? The rain, the wind, and everything else. And he played a pretty good game. And you saw potential. You saw that potential in that fourth quarter. You're like, oh, this is why the Panthers took him. Now, I'm not saying they should or shouldn't have given up all that draft capital, right? In the trades. But in that fourth quarter, you saw potential in the rain. Because in the rain, he has to be almost perfect, right? The wind's going to affect his throws. You got the rain coming down. It's going to affect the receiver's routes, right? The cut, everything else. To me, he played a pretty good game. I don't think there was a ball that he threw that was almost picked off. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment below. But for the most part, I thought he played pretty good. A couple overthrows, one was to Adam. Nick on the corner route. So for the most part, I was pretty impressed. Now that helps when you have guys like DJ and Mingo. I think we're just now seeing the potential of Bryce and Mingo, Bryce and DJ. DJ's been hurt on and off, right? Mingo, we've been giving him routes that aren't really Mingo style. When you go watch Mingo's tape in college at Ole Miss, Mingo wasn't running 5-yard hitches. If you look at the tape of the Panthers from the past, 6, 7, 8, 10 games, that's really all Mingo's been running. I think we're just now seeing the potential Bryce to Mingo, Bryce to DJ. That's something to watch because DJ, especially late in the game, fourth quarter, he had that big catch on the sideline. Mingo's been doing his thing. Bryce has been missing him lately. Like I said, that second half, that fourth quarter, I think we are finally seeing the potential. And speaking of potential, we got to talk about my boy. Ihmir Smith-Marsette finally being used. What took them so long, right? I understand maybe he didn't know the playbook. You can't give him a reverse, right? It took us this long to get Ihmir used. What happens when they run the reverse? We've talked about this on my post-game reactions. You bring the defense up, then bam, you hit them over the top. That's why you signed DJ, right? That's why you drafted Mingo. Those aren't small guys, right? DJ is to a point, but for the most part, man, those are guys you want to hit over the top. You want to hit Mingo on that go route, a post route. Same thing with DJ, right? On the cross route over the middle. This is why you signed DJ and Mingo. Use Ihmir, run the reverse, bring the defense up, then bam, you hit them over the top. And if they start to play over the top, then bam, you hit them to the tight end. That's why you signed Hayden Hurst, which is a whole nother story. But for the most part, man, I thought DJ, Mingo, we saw their potential with Bryce. Ihmir Smith-Marsette, it's nice to see him finally being used. Now let's talk about the guy who's probably the MVP of the team this year. Let's jump into this. So the next person we're going to talk about is a person, man, that the Panthers have hitched their wagon to. That is Mr. Hubbard right here. This dude, man, whew, he's a beast. He's a beast. Now I think you can use him in Sanders, but you've got to stop leaving Sanders in there in the red zone. Sanders isn't going to get you that extra 2 or 3 yards. Maybe every now and then, right? A broken clock is right twice a day. You got to leave Hubbard in. Stop leaving Sanders in there the whole possessions. I don't know if you guys have caught that, but that's what they'll do, right? They get down inside the 15 to 10-yard line. 3 straight downs, it'll be Sanders in there. No. Got to go. He's got to go until you figure out a formation, a play, a concept where Sanders can excel in this offense, right? The Panthers basically strictly run between the tackles, and that's where Hubbard's bread and butter is. That's not Sanders' bread and butter, right? He's an end-to-end guy. Sanders and Hubbard can definitely work, kind of like what we had last year with Foreman, right? But Sanders can't be your every down back. He's just not that back in this offense. Hubbard is the guy. So like I said before, until we find a formation, a concept, a play for Sanders to really throw at this offense, then you got to leave Hubbard in. Let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, now let's jump to my biggest pet peeve, and that is the RPO. Now, why is the RPO my pet peeve? All right? Because I don't think once, not once, and I really want to bet on this. I really want to bet, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm like 98, 99. I don't think Bryce has kept it one time on an RPO. Let me know if I'm wrong. I might send somebody pizza or something, right? If I'm wrong on this and you guys can prove me wrong. I don't think Bryce has kept it one time on an RPO this year. Maybe once, maybe twice. Maybe. And I don't think he has, though. And if I'm realizing this, I have to think other teams are realizing this, right? Other scouts are like, okay, hey, Bryce never keeps an RPO. So just go after Hubbard, go after Sanders, go after Blackshear every time. Let me know what you guys think. And that's something to watch for. I think we have, 3 or 4 weeks left? Let me know what you guys think. But I don't think Bryce has kept it one time this year. Let me know what you guys think on that. We have a couple more topics to get into. Let's jump into our next one. All right, guys. Now let's talk about our next subject. That is the RPO and dives. What do I have to say about this topic? To me, it works, right? RPO worked against the Falcons, ran it a couple times, got into field goal range, ran the clock out. All right. Halfback dives, that's Hubbard's bread and butter like we just went over. How can we expand on this? To me, it's a halfback toss. You have to add the halfback toss to the RPO and dives. Why is that? Because if you look at the play calling, especially the concepts, before Frank was fired, now we can talk about Bryce's footwork and him missing throws. That's a whole other video, which we've done before, right? But essentially, it was 2 hitches, bang, 5 yards back in, right? 2 curls, 2 in routes, all within 5 to 10 yards. And then it was halfback dives and RPOs. So off the center's butt, off the guard's butt, off the tackle's butt. Really nothing from end to end. And to me, that's where Miles really excels at. Why are we not running the halfback toss? Let me know what you guys think on that. But think about the offense, how it was. Teams basically stacked the box. Sometimes it was Bryce Young's footwork, sometimes it was the offensive line. Sometimes it was both, right? They stacked the box. Pressure, 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 pressure. Run the halfback toss. Spread the defense out. Make it a little bit easier for the offensive line and Bryce Young. That's something I would like to see. Let me know what you guys think. Let's jump into our last topic. All right, guys, now we're going to jump into our last subject, and that is the Panthers versus Packers. What to expect this Sunday, Christmas Eve. Expect a W potentially, all right? The Bucs just went and laid a number on the Packers. Baker Mayfield, 22 passes, 4 tutties, over 350 yards passing. Chris Godwin, 10 catches for $155. The running back, Rachaad White, 21 carries, 89 yards, I think. Whew, they put a number on the Packers. Can the Panthers duplicate this? Yes. They can if they build on to what they did last week, all right? Last week we saw the reverse with the mirror. Now the reason I don't think we saw anything more than that with the fake, hit him over the top, was because of the weather, right? The rain, the wind. If he overthrows, it gets picked. Underthrows, it gets picked. They were in the game, so they didn't have to try anything too risky. Against the Packers, if they do that again, I want to see them adapt. Run the reverse to a mirror, bam, hit him over the top, right? By him, I mean Mingo, DJ. Or run a reverse with Mingo, then bam, hit Amir over the top. I want to see the Panthers build more. Run the toss, right? Run the play action. Hit the tight end in the flat. Let them do something. If the Panthers can build on to what they did last week against the Falcons, I truly think they can beat the Packers. So let me know what you guys think. Once again, man, just want to say thank you guys for your support. That's going to wrap it up. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, Bryce Young film study coming in. It's going to be interesting going over that because the weather played a factor. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. I'll catch you guys on the next one.